part 4 or 5. I think I'm on part 4. Anyways, here we go. She reached out a trembling hand toward the country. We have freed our bloodline from fate. The prophecy is gone. Her voice softened. Excuse me. Live your lives together. With a final breath, Frey crumbled into dust, carried away by a warm, gentle wind. Chapter 12. The chamber fell silent. Lyra and Nyx held each other, their magic slowly fading back to normal. Aja wrapped his arms around both of them, Luna joined, tears streaming down her face. Rowan remained unconscious, the light chain still binding him. Lyra looked at him with sadness. What do we do with him? Nyx rested her head on her sister's shoulder. We decided together. For the first time since the night of the birth, the twins felt truly free. The prophecy was gone, and the future was their own, but freedom didn't erase the weight of what had happened. Nyx wiped her eyes and looked around the chamber. The rooms and the walls were fading, their glow dimming to nothing. The air felt lighter, as if the entire lair had been holding its breath for years and was finally exhaling. Luna brushed a trembling hand over Lyra's shoulder. Died, and then you came back. I don't understand how. Lyra squeezed her mother's hand. Neither do I. It felt like Nyx pulled me back, but she wouldn't let go. Nyx's voice was soft. I didn't. I couldn't. Aja has placed a steady hand on both of our shoulders. Whatever this new power is, it's yours now, but it will come with consequences. Lyra nodded, both faced up. Nyx looked at Rowan again. His chest rose and fell slowly. The red glow gone from his eyes. Without further influence, he looked younger, smaller, almost fragile. It wasn't always like this, Nyx whispered. Frey twisted him. Lyra sighed. That doesn't erase what he did. No, Nyx agreed. But it means we choose what happens next. Not the prophecy, not Frey. Luna stepped forward, her voice gentle. Then take him home. He won't answer for his choices, but he will do so alive. Ajax nodded, and Umbra watched. The twins exchanged a look, a silent agreement passing between them, the same way it had always had. Their bond felt different now, deeper, threaded with the magic that saved Lyra's life. Nyx took Lyra's hand. We're stronger together. Lyra smiled softly. We always were. A faint rumble echoed through the chamber, dust drifted from the ceiling. Ajax tensed. The lair was collapsing. Frey's magic was holding it together. Lyra looked at her. Then we need to leave now. Nyx knelt beside Rowan, hesitating only a moment before releasing the straight chains. They dissolved in soft sparks. Rowan didn't stir. Let me carry him, she said. Ajax lifted Rowan over his shoulder with a groan. Let's move. The family hurried toward the exit. The chamber rumbled around them. Rooms cracked and shattered. Walls groaned. The air shimmered with the last dying remnants of Frey's power. As they reached the threshold, Nyx paused and looked back one last time. The place where Frey had stood, where she had died, was empty now. No ash, no trace, just a faint warmth in the air, just like a sigh. Lyra touched her sister's arm. Come on. Nyx nodded and followed her out. Again, with my foot. Okay. The moment they stepped into the forest, the lair behind them collapsed in a roar of stone and magic, sinking into the earth until nothing remained but silence. Lyra exhaled swiftly. It's over. Nyx looked at the horizon where the first hints of dawn were breaking through the trees. No, she said softly, it's beginning. And together with their parents beside them and Rowan unconscious in their care, the twins walked toward the rising sun, toward a future no prophecy could ever control. Chapter 13. They made camp just beyond the ruins of Frey's lair, beneath a canopy of tall pines. The sky was beginning to light, streaks of pink and gold stretching across the horizon. Ajax and Luna slept close together, exhausted. Nyx dozed lightly beside her sister, her head resting on Lyra's shoulder. Rowan lay a few feet away, wrapped in a blanket, still unconscious. Lyra watched him quietly, unable to sleep. The fire crackled softly, casting warm light across his face. Without the red glow in his eyes, he looked peaceful, human, almost innocent. Mister, you still awake? Lyra nodded, just thinking. Nyx followed her gaze to Rowan. About him? Lyra didn't deny it. Nyx sat up, rubbing her eyes. He wasn't himself, Lyra. Frey told him. It doesn't erase what he did, Lyra whispered. But I don't know. I don't feel anger anymore, just sadness. Next lean against her. You always see the good in people. There, a smile faded. Someone has to balance you out. Next nudged her playfully, then froze his round down. He shifted, brow furrowing, and slowly opened his eyes. There, next he tensed. Ronald blinked up at the sky, confused. Where am I? Next moved closer cautiously. Do you remember anything? Rowan sat up slowly, wincing. I remember meeting you in the woods, and then his face twisted in pain, and everything goes dark, as someone else was inside my head. Lyra swallowed, fried. Rowan looked at her, eyes wide with fear. Did I hurt you? Did I hurt you? Lyra hesitated, then shook her head. We're all alive, that's what matters. Rowan exhaled shakily. We're really washing over. I'm so sorry, I don't want any of this. Nick studied him carefully. Do you remember the prophecy? Rowan found prophecy? No, I don't remember anything about the portal, after the portal. Next in Lyra, a strange delight. Lyra spoke gently. It's gone now, the prophecy doesn't control us anymore. Rowan's eyes softened as he looked at her, really looked at her, as if seeing her for the first time without phrase and influence about in his mind. You saved me, he whispered. Lyra shook her head. You saved each other. Rowan's gaze lingered on her, warm and grateful. Something new flickered there, something tender, hesitant, unspoken. Nick's notices her. It looks like someone's awake enough to blush. Rowan's cheek flushed instantly. I'm not. I mean, Laura laughed softly, a sound easing the tension in there. It's okay, you've been through a lot. Rowan rubbed back of his mouth closer. I feel like I know looking at you, like I'm supposed to know you. Laura's face faded into something gentler. Maybe you're meant to. Their eyes met, a quiet moment, fragile and warm, until Ajax stirred behind them, breaking the silence. Nick stood and shook. Come on, we should get moving soon. Rowan nodded, but his gaze drifted back to Lyra, and Lyra felt her heart flutter in a way she didn't expect. For the first time since the prophecy shattered, something new was beginning, something neither fate nor magic had written for them. Something entirely their own. Chapter 14. The weeks after Frey's clouds were quieter than anyone expected. The forest felt lighter, the air warmer, as if the land itself was relieved from the prophecy. Believed the prophecy had ended. Lyra and Ajax brought Rowan home with them, giving him a small room near the twins. At first, Rowan kept mostly to himself. He woke from nightmares, confused and shaken, memory of Frey's controlling flickering like broken glass. But the family never pushed him. They gave him space, kindness, and the time things he never had before. Ajax taught him how to chop wood, how to repair fences, how to cook simple meals. Rowan wasn't good at any of it at first, but Ajax only laughed and showed him again. Luna taught him some small spells, harmless ones, to help him regain control of his magic. Rowan was terrified of using it, afraid he'd hurt someone again. But Luna's patience slowly erased that fear. Nick teased him constantly. You swing an axe like this, afraid of you, she'd say, grinning. Rowan would blush. I'm trying. You're adorable when you try, she'd add just to watch him turn redder. It was Lyra who helped him the most. She sat with him during his nightmares. She walked with him through the woods when he felt overwhelmed. She listened when he talked about the years he'd spent under Fraser's influence, the loneliness, the confusion, the fear, and she never judged him. Chapter 15. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, Rowan and Lyra sat on the porch steps. Fireflies blinked in the grass. Lyra leaned back on her hands, watching the sky. You're different now, she said softly. Rowan looked at her, startled. Different how? Later, she said, like you're finally breathing. Rowan smiled shyly. That's because of you. Lyra's cheeks warmed. I didn't do anything. You brought me back, he said. Not just from Frey, from everything. Rowan looked away, heart fluttering. He reached for her hand, hesitating, giving her time to pull it. She didn't. The fingers intertwined naturally, like they'd been meant to fit together all along. From that night on, they were inseparable. They trained together, laughed together, and slowly gently began calling each other mine. Nix, meanwhile, found her own unexpected spark. It happened at the village market. A boy with messy brown hair and a crooked smile bumped into her while carrying a basket of apples. Sorry, he blurted, nearly dropping everything. Nix got an apple in her hair with magic and tossed it back to him. You're welcome. He stared at her like she had just performed the greatest spell in the world. That was amazing. Nick smiled. Smart. You should see what I can do when I'm actually trying. He laughed a warm, easy sound. I'm Lenny. Next. He blinked. Like, the next? The one who saved the forest? Next rolled her eyes. Don't start. But Lenny didn't treat her like a legend. He treated her like a girl. A funny, stubborn, magical girl. He wanted to know better. They spent the afternoon talking, then the next day and the next. Soon Nix was sneaking out to meet him under the old willow tree by the river. They stood for hours, feet in the water, talking about everything and nothing. One evening, Leah caught her sneaking back in. Nix tried to tiptoe past her room, but Laura passed her on. Where were you? Nix grinned. Lenny. Leah raised an eyebrow. Lenny? Nix flopped onto her bed dramatically. He's sweet and funny and he listens. And he doesn't treat me like I'm dangerous. Leah smiled. I'm happy for you. Nix peeked at her. You and Rowan are disgustingly cute, by the way. Leah threw a pillow at her. The family grew into a new rhythm, peaceful and warm and full of laughter. Rowan learned to trust himself again. Leah learned what it meant to love without fear. Nix found someone who made her feel seen. For the first time in their lives, the twins were running from a prophecy. They were running toward a future they chose, together. Epilogue. Seasons passed, and that forest healed. The air grew lighter, the trees greener, and the river clearer. Rowan became part of the family as naturally as if he had always belonged there. Aja had taught him how to chop wood and fix fences, laughing whenever Rowan fumbled. Luna taught him gentle spells to help him bring confidence in his magic. Nix teased him constantly, but her teasing was affectionate, the kind that made Rowan blush and Lara laugh, and Lara, she was his anchor. She walked with him through the woods when he felt overwhelmed, sat with him during I swear I wrote this part before. Sat with him during nightmares and listened when he spoke about the years he spent in her first patrol. She never judged him, she simply stayed. The bond deepened until the evening, under a sky full of stars, rolling out in the grass behind the house, and asked Lyra to marry him. She didn't hesitate. She threw her arms around him, laughing and crying at once, whispering yes against his shoulder. Their wedding was small and beautiful, held in the clearing where they had once fought the shadow war. Lanterns hung from the trees like captured stars, and when they kissed, the forest lit up with soft golden sparks. Magic responded to joy. Nix's love story unfolded just as naturally. She met Lenny at the village market when he nearly dropped a basket of apples on her feet. She caught one mid. I hate when I do this, repeat and everything. She caught one midair with magic tossed it back, and he stared at her like she'd just performed the greatest spell in the world. He adored her strength, her humor, her stubbornness. She adored his kindness and the way he made her laugh until her stomach hurt. One afternoon by the river, while skipping stones, Lenny took her hand and asked her to marry him. Nix grinned so wide at her, and she said yes before he even finished the question. Their wedding was loud and full of dancing music, and Nix accidentally setting a tablecloth on fire from excitement, which Lyra put out with a flick of her wrist, laughing the whole time. Years passed, and the family grew. Lyra and Rowan welcomed two daughters, bright-eyed, magical, and irreceptible. One had Rowan's gentle smile and Lyra's fierce spark. The other had Lyra's stubborn streak and Rowan's quiet wisdom. Nix and Lenny had a son and a daughter, both wild and curious. Their son could charm anyone near the grant, and their daughter could climb any tree in the forest before anyone noticed and she was gone. The cousins grew up together, racing through the woods, practicing magic, and listening to stories of a prophecy that once threatened their family. A prophecy that no longer held any power. On warm evenings, the entire family gathered around a fire in the backyard. Ajax told stories. Luna braided flowers into the children's hair. Rowan held Lyra close, their daughters asleep in their laps. Nix leaned against Lenny, laughing as their chum tried to roast marshmallows with magic. The forest glowed softly around them, alive with peace. Laura looked at her sister. Nix looked back, and without speaking, they both knew they had broken fate. They had rewritten destiny. They had built a life full of love, magic, and freedom. A life they chose together. And then I have the dedication. I can read that for you guys too. Dedication of the ones who cared about me and wanted to never, ever give up on me. This book is dedicated to the people who changed me, lifted me, challenged me, and loved me in ways pieces that stitch my heart back together when life tried to tear it apart. It is dedicated to the ones who stood beside me in silence and laughter and grief, and in the quiet moments when I wasn't sure I could keep going. Every word in these pages carries a piece of them, a memory of them, a reflection of the love they gave me freely and without hesitation. To my parents who are now no longer here in this world, but whose presence still lingers in every breath I take. Losing you both carved a hollow space inside me that nothing else could ever fill, yet somehow your love continues to echo in the places where grief once lived alone. I feel you in the warmth of the sun on my face, in the quiet loneliness before sleep, in the strength I didn't know I had until I needed it. You taught me resilience without ever saying a word. You taught me love without ever needing to explain it. You taught me that even when life breaks you, you can still rise. I carry you with me in everything I do, and this book is proof that your lessons, your love, and your spirits will guide me. I hope you are proud of the person I've become. I hope you see yourselves in the courage it took to write this story. To my daughter Jasmine, the bright spark in my life, the one who reminds me every day that love can be loud and messy and beautiful. You are the reason I keep pushing forward even when the world feels heavy. You are the laughter in my darkest days and the hope in my quietest nights. Watching you grow has been the greatest privilege of my life. You inspire me to be better, to dream bigger, to fight harder. This book is for you, so you will always know that your mother never stopped trying, never stopped believing, and never stopped loving you with everything she had. To my daughter Raven in heaven, whose absence has shaped me as deeply as her presence once did. Losing you was a pain I never expected, a wound that time could not heal, but your memory has become a soft place in my heart, a reminder of innocence, of love, of the fragility and beauty of life. I imagine you watching over us, smiling, laughing, dancing in the spaces between moments. I imagine you free from pain, wrapped in peace. This book carries your name in every chapter because you are part of my story, part of my soul, and part of the strength that brought me here. You will always be my daughter, always be my angel, always be loved. Yeah. To Elise and Willow, my two adopted daughters, who came into my life like unexpected blessings. You brought chaos, joy, noise, and light into a home that needed all of those things. You taught me that family is not defined by blood, but by choice, by love, by the willingness to show up for each other again and again. You make me laugh when I wanted to cry, challenge me when I wanted to give up, and remind me that motherhood is not a single shape. It is 1,000 forms of love woven together. You both changed me in ways I never saw coming. I am grateful for everything, every moment, every memory, every lesson you brought into my life. To my baby dad and friend, thank you for being a constant presence even when life pulls us in different directions. Thank you for your support, your patience, your understanding, and your friendship. We built something complicated, something imperfection, something real, and through it all we found a way to remain connected, to raise our child with love, and to respect each other as people, not just parents. You have been a steady part of my journey, and I am grateful for the ways you've shown up, even when it wasn't easy. And to his wife, a woman who became like a sister to me, not through blood, but through kindness, loyalty, and the quiet ways she welcomed me into her life. You didn't have to be part of my story, but you chose to be. You didn't have to support me, but you did. You didn't have to treat me like family, but you opened your heart without hesitation. Your presence has been a gift. Your friendship, a comfort, and your acceptance, your reminder that love can grow in unexpected places. Thank you for standing with me, for lifting me up, for being the kind of woman who makes the world softer just by being in it. This book is for all of you, the living, the gone, the found, the chosen. You shaped me, you strengthened me, you taught me that love comes in many forms, and that every form is powerful. You remind me that even when life feels impossible, there's always a reason to keep writing, keep dreaming, keep breathing, keep fighting. Without you, the story would not exist. Without you, I would not exist in the way I do now. Every page is a thank you. Every chapter is a memory. Every word is a piece of my heart. This book is yours as much as it is mine.